The Olympic Stadium in Rome, an opulent setting for a major confrontation which has come unusually early in the Italian season. Roma, the Italian cup holders, and the UEFA Cup runners-up to today's opposition, Inter. It's unusual in Italy for the big clubs to meet each other so early in the campaign, but there's so many potentially successful sides in the Italian First Division this season that it would be hard to pick fixtures without that happening. This is the Roma team today. They won last week away to Verona. They make one change, and it is at number 4, where Piacentini plays instead of De Marchi. Aldair, the Brazilian centre-back, is here, and Thomas Hessler from West Germany. And 20-year-old Roberto Muzzi, who scored the winning goal in Verona, is asked again to deputise for the injured Rudi Foller. Ottavio Bianchi, the coach who guided Napoli to the championship in 1987, indeed had 4 very successful years in Naples. Jürgen Klinsmann wears the number 9 for Inter. Corrado Orico, the new coach, kept his lineup under wraps until half an hour before the kickoff. He promised changes from the team which was held at home by promoted Foggia last week, and there are 2, with a place today from the outset for Nicola Berti, only a substitute last week, and also, and a surprising selection really, a player well known in Rome. Here he is, Stefano Desideri, who left Roma in the summer, initially to join Juventus, but they've loaned him now to Inter along with Dino Baggio, and that's all part of the complicated transaction which saw Trapattoni, the coach, leaving Inter for Juventus. Pierluigi Pairetto from Turin is today's referee. Both clubs played in Italian cup ties in midweek. These are the Inter substitutes, including Ciocci, who came on as a substitute to score against Foggia. The game is underway. And Inter attack the goal to the right in the Olympic Stadium in the first half. It's a happy ground, of course, for Inter's West Germans. They won the World Cup here. On the Roma bench, Fausto Salzano, a player we might see later in the game, former teammate of Trevor Francis's at Sampdoria.
That's right, Salzano was a teammate at Sampdoria, and another teammate of mine, not at Sampdoria but at Atalanta, who was just starting his career, was Walter Bonacina. It's nice to see him playing today. It's a new signing for Roma during the summer. I'll be looking to see how he progresses in this big game for him.
Giannini is the number 10 and the Roma captain. The goalkeeper Giovanni Cevoni, a tall man in his 3rd season with the club. And his opposite number today, the great Walter Zenga. It's a massive clearance by Cevoni, and it bounces all the way through to Zenga, who's got a shorter hairstyle this season. Bianchi. And now, was he caught on the edge of the area? And the referee is going to look to Carboni here as to whether this is a goal-scoring opportunity. Looking at it from any angle, I think you could make a case for that. There was no other defender who was going to get to him, but it was a fairly theatrical fall by Bianchi. Here's Bremer. Not quite. 8 minutes to go. No disguising Inter's intentions. And really, they were saying to Bremer, you try and batter it in from there.
I think in that situation, what you're looking for is just hit the target. Certainly hit it with great power. But unfortunately for Inter, it just rose above the crossbar. Chaboni didn't have to make a save.
Wenger again happy to face any shooting from that distance. And off comes Piacentini. Now, Pellegrini is a member of a famous footballing family here in Italy. He's the youngest of 3 brothers. The eldest, Luca, was a fine player with Sampdoria for a good number of years, including last season, the championship-winning season. Middle brother, Davide, striker who played for Verona. Ciocci should keep it in and does. Helped by Desideri. There's Fontolan on Berti. It's a great picker-up of loose balls in opposing penalty areas. To have shown more ambition. You could argue they could hardly have shown less after the way they approached the first half. And Tempestili bringing down Ciocci. So the ambition has brought a penalty in the 39th minute of the second half. And Ciocci has come from the bench again for Inter to make a major impact.
That was great skills from Ciocci. His first touch was brilliant. Just teased Tempestili into this tackle. There he goes. He's won the penalty.
And Lothar Matthaüs didn't take the penalty here in the World Cup final. Look at the Roma reaction. The home supporters are utterly desolate at the award. And with 5 minutes to go, this could well mean both points for Inter. Here goes Matthäus. Yes! No great emotion from Olimpico. Roma 0, Inter 1. Those who've come here from Milan are thrilled. Ciocci earned the penalty. Matthäus took it with aplomb. It's becoming more fashionable to do this, to try and expect the goalkeeper to go with the blast. And Matthäus just curled the ball the other way. So there was no replica for Bremer, but the scoreline is the same for the West Germans. They're winning. Aldair. Can Roma find a moment of invention here? Tempestili. He's got greater incentive than most. Try and manufacture an equaliser, having conceded the penalty. Salsano. Play on. Good advantage from the referee. He's had a fine match. Roma ruining. The cross wasn't more precise. It looks to me like Paganini in play, and the referee contemptuous of it. believing it's part of Inter's attempt to take the steam out of Roma. They can't make another substitution to do that. What they can do is manufacture an injury or two. Tempestili getting Bianchi out of the way. Well, it's been a fine finish to a match in which we waited a long time for the game to come to life. But Inter, really, Trevor, in keeping with the way that they played a lot last season, they were prepared to let the time go, and should we call it a storming finish, as the heavens open in Rome. But they've really tried to win over a shorter course by making the game played over the last 20 minutes or so, and not really competing in an attacking sense up till then.
Yes, undoubtedly the game changed when Ciocci entered into the action, and I would imagine tomorrow the Italian press will be complimenting Enrico on being a brilliant tactician. But up until then, really, I was very critical of him because it was such a poor defensive display by Inter. They never really threatened at all, but it looks as they got the result that they came for. In fact, they've got a better result because they came for a draw and they've got the 2 points.
As the final whistle confirms, Roma have been beaten at home, having won their first game away at Verona. And Inter, who had a disappointing result last week, a home draw against Foggia, take 2 points away from the Olympic Stadium, which finishes here, the match finishing here in a downpour. But a penalty 5 minutes from time, earned by some skillful play from the substitute Massimo Ciocci, tripped by Tempestili, and Lothar Matthaüs stepped up to beat Cervoni and win the match for Inter. Roma 0, Inter 1.